Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make a shepherd's pie. I call it a shepherd's pie. Technically it's a cottage pie, I guess. I'm going to show you how to make that today. Okay, so all together these are the ingredients that you're going to need, and this is in addition to any kind of mashed potatoes. So we're going to be making our own mashed potatoes, but you can use leftover mashed potatoes, or you can use if you've got 3 potatoes lying around, you can mash them up and that'll work, or you can do a whole bunch and really fit the recipe to whatever you need. So first we've got 2 cans of green beans, and you actually can use any vegetable that you like. And I like the cut green beans. And then you'll need 1 can of tomato paste. More if you're making a bigger recipe. Probably not more than 2 though, because it makes a lot. And then a little bit of onion powder and salt and pepper and some kind of meat. I'm going to be using ground venison today, and you can use like ground turkey or ground beef, or I think a traditional shepherd's pie is actually supposed to be made with lamb. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, so I guess this is technically a cottage pie. I'm probably going to call it shepherd's pie. And then for the top at the end, you'll probably want some cheese. I like cheddar. You can use whatever. You don't even have to put cheese on there. So anyway, well, my husband likes cheddar, so that's what we're going to put on there. Okay, let's get to cooking. Okay, so I've got my potatoes in, so I'm just going to add a little bit of salt, and that'll help it boil. And then I'm going to add some water in it and let it boil for a little while. Okay, also I forgot to mention one of the most important parts, the cast iron skillet. So I make this in a cast iron skillet every time I make it. You can make it in a small one or a big one to fit your needs. You could also make it in any other dish you have, basically. I like this because I can cook the meat in it, and then I can mix everything else in there, so less dishes. And also I can take it straight from the stovetop into the oven. So there you go. Okay, so if you want to do it exactly how I do it, I don't actually make the sauce in a separate pan, I just make it right in the skillet. So right now I've got my meat cooking, and I've got all my cans open up here. So I've got my green beans, and we're actually going to add them after the tomato paste. So we're going to add the tomato paste and the seasonings first, after the meat is cooked. So cook the meat first. Okay, so I just found out that we're going to be having family over for dinner, so I thought I would take this opportunity just to show you how flexible this recipe is. Normally I would cook it in my small skillet and only put like 1.5 cans of green beans in there, but this time I'm going to put the whole 2 cans, and I actually made a lot of mashed potatoes planning on extras, so that'll be good because there'll be plenty of mashed potatoes and I can add all of the green beans. And I went ahead and moved to a bigger cast iron skillet. So just to show you, you can make this as big or as small as you want. Okay, so now that I see there's no pink, I'm going to go ahead and reduce the heat, add the tomato paste, and a little bit of water and the seasonings and the green beans. So you're just throwing it all in there. So I'm just kind of watching to see when I need to add more water, because you want it to be about the consistency of like a spaghetti sauce. The original recipe that I called, or that I used to use, it called for can of tomato soup, and so it's okay if it's pretty liquidy because it's from a soup thing, so it's supposed to kind of resemble that. So I'm actually going to add just a little bit more water, probably not much, but a little bit. You could, if you like more sauce in the bottom, you could just add another can of tomato paste, but I don't think I want to do that today because I'm going to have a lot of green beans. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that because I've already got a pretty decent looking sauce there. So I'm going to do a little bit more water. And then, oh, and also always use oven mitt while you're handling cast iron because the handle does definitely absorb heat. So I'm just going to simmer that, and that looks pretty good. So, okay, so I'm going to start adding in some of our sauces. So I've got some salt. And you don't have to use as much salt as I do. I like a lot of salt. So we got salt. You can do a little bit of pepper. Also, I'm sorry I don't measure. I pretty much just go across the pan and do like a little sprinkle, and that's good. So, and then with onion powder, I'm going to go ahead and do, let's see, maybe like, I'm going to go ahead and take this off because I like to do quite a bit. I'm going to turn this down to low. So I'm just going to sprinkle. It's probably a little more than a sprinkle. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay, so, and actually for good measure, yeah, okay. So, now we're going to go ahead and stir that a little bit. Yep. And actually, I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Yep, that's good. Okay. We're going to stir it up. I guess you could probably use like a spaghetti sauce if you wanted to. I've never tried it, but you want your meat and your sauce to cover the pan. So here's my meat and my sauce, and it's covering the bottom of the pan. So if you've got a bigger pan, it needs to cover the whole bottom of your pan. If you've got a smaller pan, it just needs to cover the bottom. If you like extra meat, you can do extra meat. Extra vegetables, you can do extra vegetables. I've made this with as little as like a 1/4 pound of meat and done the rest vegetables. So anyway, okay, so now I've got these drained green beans. I drained all the liquid out of them, so I'm going to go ahead and add both cans. Okay, so there's one. And there's two. Okay. So now we're going to just stir that all together. So I'm going to smooth this out. As smooth as you can make it. I know it's bumpy. Okay, cut that off. Okay, so this is the part where we're going to add the mashed potatoes to the top, okay? So I'm going to shut off my skillet, my burner, and I'm going to put the mashed potatoes on top, and then you wait to broil it until you're about ready to serve because it only takes 2 minutes to broil, and you're just going to broil the cheese that's on the top. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to get a big spoon, and we're just going to take these mashed potatoes that we made earlier, and again, you can use any kind of mashed potatoes if you've got leftovers or just a little bit. So here's the part where it comes in handy that you can just use a little bit. So if you've only got a little bit, you would just do some scoops around the very edge. So you just do the edge if you had, and you would leave the center open. But because I've got a ton of mashed potatoes, I'm just going to go ahead and spread it out. So I'm going to do a couple scoops there. And I always start from the outsides, that way at least the outsides are covered. And then if you've got a little bit of extra, you can put it on the middle. I love this recipe because it's so easy, and it's good for, you know, like when you've got family coming over, or when you want to, you know, just, I guess, give people a homey, simple meal. Or if you have different ingredients on hand, you can mix it up, and I like that too because you can do different variations. So put a little bit more over there. I'm going to come to this side. I'm just going to level it out. I'm trying to be gentle because I am using a metal spoon now, so. Now, if you only had like a little bit of mashed potatoes, you could just stop there and leave this middle open. And actually, that's really better because it gives it a place to vent out of. I'm not going to do that because I doubt it's going to spill over, but we'll find out. Anyway. I'm going to just plop this in the middle. And anywhere that you see a thin spot, you should go ahead and fill that in with some taters. So, okay. I'm just going to push that around, and potatoes too are a good filler, so like if you've got to feed a lot of people, this is a good meal to do. I also try to cover up any oopsies with the sauce where the sauce kind of came out. So, and you do still want to leave a little opening, so I am going to leave a little opening even though I had plenty of potatoes. So, okay, so we're going to just set this to the side. Now that can be it. But I'm actually going to put a little bit of cheese on the top. So I'll show you that real quick.